This is a question from one of our trainings, and it's all about external business logic. Let me just read this for you. If you had an address taken from a staging field, so they get some, let's say, CM data, where they get some address, and they concatenate a field using a DBT macro, you have to cleanse it with a Python script. So the idea is to take this address from the source data, which is, let's say, not standardized, send it over to some external service or to some Python script to cleanse it, and then get a JSON response of the new cleansed address information. And how would this address be captured essentially? Is it in the business vault? Do you have two satellites, one for raw JSON, one for satellite for the fields that you want to flatten from the JSON? There's a couple of questions here. Before I go into details, let me talk about the business data vault. Because I know I'm picky, but the thing is this. When I talk about data vault and the individual layers in the enterprise database layer, we have two layers, right? We have the raw data vault and the business vault. Why do I name it like this? I call the raw data vault, and a lot of people like to call the raw data vault raw vault. I like to call the raw data vault raw data vault because it contains raw data. It contains data. While the business vault is somewhere in between the raw data vault and the information mart. The information mart is called information mart because it delivers the information, not data anymore, right? So the business vault is bridging that gap between the raw data that you have and the information the user would like to see. And the idea now is that because it's not data anymore, well, not raw data anymore, but it's not yet information, it's maybe pre-processed data or something. To make it simple, I leave it out. To make it clear, the business vault is not raw data anymore, right? So I always use the terms raw data vault and business vault. That's the idea. And the combined layer, combining the raw data vault and the business vault, officially that's the enterprise database layer. And we use a data vault model for modeling both the raw data vault and the business vault. Data vault is a marketing term, right? So that's established. I'm just trying to make it clear. Having said that, sorry for that, I'm just picky, right? People use all kinds of terminologies for this, it's all good. So there's two questions still in here. One is about how do we deal with this external business logic, because it's external in some Python script and maybe in some external application. Let's assume that, right? So it's really external, not under your control. If it would be under your control, my answer would be a little bit different. But here I assume the code that you call is out of your control. Maybe an external service that you use for cleansing addresses and so on, right? That's question number one. How do we model this? How do we deal with this external service that delivers us some data? And then the next question is the JSON data. How do we deal with this? All right, I prepared a slide for this, to be honest. So I don't often have a slide with the solution. But here's the thing. First of all, that's the first part. We get some CM data. We just stage it. We break down the stage data into a raw data vault, right? Hubsync satellites. You will find the raw address coming from the CM system somewhere in the satellite. Maybe a description of the account. Maybe you have an address hub with an address satellite, or the satellite is just a descriptive attribute of the account, of the contact, of the lead, or something like this. And then you have some cleansing. I assume for the worst case scenario now, or for the extreme case scenario, not worst case, actually, it's a common case. Let's assume we need to calculate something. Maybe let's say for the extreme case, we go for an external API service that we want to call. There's maybe some Python script in between us, our data, and the REST service we're going to call. But the REST service requires some key, or maybe the address in some format. So and if it's just one string, right? So we have to do something. We have to calculate something. That's why we have the business vault here, right? So there's a business vault that prepares the API call by pre-computing some key or some string to be sent over to the external API. Okay, I just want to make sure we have computed data in here and business logic essentially involved here. So that design would be this, just as you would expect it. You have raw data coming from the CM system. We stage it, break it down in the raw data vault, and then attach business logic to calculate the key for the REST call. And then we would have an external script that performs the actual REST call. That is this one here. The idea now is when you build an external script that needs some data from the enterprise data platform, you just query it from the raw data vault from the business vault. The issue that you have is you introduce a dependency, which means that you want to mark those entities that you use in your call, your external application. You want to mark them in your metadata as part of the operational vault. that essentially only says those entities are used by an external script, and you can't just modify them, you can't just refactor them the way you want, because then you would break those external integrations, right? There are some other tricks to mitigate this. You could introduce what we call an interface mart, where the interface mart provides you a stable API for the external script. And if you modify the satellites in a business vault or in a raw data vault, you could then essentially make sure that the interface mart, the view in the interface mart, always looks the same. And you deal with those refactorings to have a compatibility layer, essentially, right? So that's how we typically integrate an external script in the best case. But that shouldn't be the main topic here of today. So you have a script that accesses some data directly or indirectly via an interface mart from your enterprise data warehouse layer, from the raw data vault and from the business vault, and does something with it. That's a very common case. I mean, we integrate applications, scripts into our enterprise data platform just this way, right? So we just consume the data, not only by reports and dashboards, but by applications, scripts, and so on. I'm a big fan of, in a data-driven organization, you want to make data available. Well, actually, you want to make useful information, but also raw data, available to the decision maker, so they can make decisions, right? Rational decisions. And that's what we're doing here. The only thing is, our script that we built now, the external script, calls an external address standardizer. I just call it this way. Calls an external service that's out of our control now. The Python script, you could argue, that we're building this. That's under our control. We get version control, essentially. But the external script is out of our control. So I'm treating this, and all the responses now coming from the system, we perform a REST call with the calculated business key or something from the business vault. We run the REST call, and then the response will be a JSON string. Maybe with the key involved, but also with the cleaned address, maybe some additional information about the address and so on, right? All it comes back as a JSON string. Well, and that's, for us, it's because out of our control, it becomes a source system. So we just stage it, we break it apart in a raw data vault. You might have, maybe, I'm not sure how the model looks like now, but if there would be an address hub in your raw data from the CM dataset, you might be able to insert even the artificial keys coming from the source system, from the external data address standardizer. Those business keys now become business keys in a raw data vault because you have a source system that delivers you those keys, even though you calculate them beforehand. Doesn't matter anymore, it's coming from the source. So you could add them to the address hub if you have one, and then have a satellite in the raw data vault capturing you at least the JSON data in the raw data vault with the response from the REST API. And then so that's the basic idea. Now, so I would treat, in this case, because the system is an external system, I'm treating it as another source system. It's out of my control, it's external, that's it. And out of control means, I mean, let's make it simple here. It's really an external party, not our organization, providing us this response, essentially, right? The idea now is that, so that's question number one. Question number two is about the JSON data. Two options. First option would be because we can't change the structure between the source application, the REST API response, and the raw data vault, we can change the structure. So if you want to spend the time to break the JSON apart, and we do this a lot, you break this apart into relational attributes, you can do that in the raw data vault. That's where I would typically do it. I would stage it as is, so I capture the JSON in the staging area, but then if the attributes, if I'm going to use those attributes anyway, if it's a relatively standardized JSON, it's not a, let's say, semi-structured JSON where you, from message to message or from response to response, you get a bit of different structures, right? It's a standardized structure, essentially, just in JSON. Then you could just extract the relational attributes that you need, put them in a satellite and a raw data vault. And maybe what we often do in these cases is that we capture only those attributes that we actually need. Let's say out of 50 attributes in a JSON, we only need 5. Those 5 we extract into the relational raw data vault as relational attributes. The rest, either the whole document or the remaining data, we put into a JSON object or JSON attribute in the same satellite. And most probably, I would just keep the JSON as is, dump it into the satellite, extract those 5 elements, add them to the satellite as well. So I have 1 JSON attribute in the satellite and 5 relational attributes with the data I need. So that's the common scenario. You could also argue that you keep the JSON in a raw data vault and then have a business vault entity that extracts the data you need. what I would do is, if that's the case, I would also apply the business logic, because just extracting data out of a JSON is not business logic. That's a structural change. It's a hard rule, right? It's not a business rule. So it's you could do it in the business world. I wouldn't do it. What we do is actually in those cases, let's say we have 5 attributes extracted. That's in a raw data satellite, and we have the JSON. And now somebody comes in and says, well, we need one more attribute, right? Guess what? So this one attribute, if it's not super important, I would just keep it in the JSON data, because JSON in most modern databases is easy to process essentially and fast to process. So keep it in a JSON and use a JSON functionality to extract this attribute from the JSON and just use it in your calculation, in your view, right? So we do all this in a view essentially in the business world. Get this one attribute from the JSON, apply some factor, and that's your result in your structured relational satellite in the business world essentially. That's what we do very often as well. So we focus on those attributes we need, and that's what we essentially extract into the relational data world satellite, and the rest we keep in a JSON content or data attribute of type JSON, BJSON, something like this in PostgreSQL. And then you can use the data. So you have 2 source systems delivering your data. One, the CM system with the non-standardized address. The external address standardizer delivers you the standardized address. You need to know how you combine them, right? Well, you have that. In the business world, you have the pre-computed key that you perform the API call with. Based on that, you can create some relationship, either SMS link or somehow related data, let's say. Again, I'm not sure how the data looks like, how you model it from the CM system. That would drive a lot of decisions, essentially. But that's the basic idea. That's how I would capture this in our systems, essentially. Yeah, and again, check out our free handbook, the Databot Handbook, that you can read it online either as an ebook, or you can actually order a physical copy of the book for your colleagues, for your friends. Thank you guys for joining. See you next Friday.